Folks, it's time to sit up again for another episode of the Soul Sessions. I am your host, Soul, but with me today, one half of Rising Tide. He's rising among the scene here in the UK, Leon Cage. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure, pal. But what I love to do, Leon, every guest has a story and every story has a beginning. Leon, I want to know, how did your story begin as a wrestling fan, my friend?
Well, my first memory of wrestling is the Shawn Micheals and Undertaker Wrestlemania 25 match. And I was actually 2 years old. And I remember the match completely memorized. And Shawn lost at the end, which led to their rematch. But I remember crying my eyes out because I really wanted him to win. So that's how it all started.
Starting young and breaking hearts as even a wee. My God,
yeah.
Wrestling is powerful indeed. But also, Shawn Micheals and Taker, their two matches at Mania are very historic, and some would say they're the best, set of back-to-back matches in Mania history. Yeah. I want to know from yourself, Leon, with Undertaker's streak of having so many great opponents, who do you think was his definitive opponent, like his best opponent at the Mania during the streak?
Well, I mean, it's either Shawn or Triple H. They're the two. The cell match. So they're the two. The series with Shawn and then the Hell in a Cell with all three of them in.
Hey, you know what? Fair point, my friend. They are very good. Obviously the two Shawns, two Triple H's back to back. It was just story writing. It was absolutely perfect. I mean, I even remember that promo package of running up the hill by Placebo for Shawn and Taker too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it brings a tear to my eye just thinking about it now, how beautiful it was. Yeah. But also, Taker's streak would come to an end by the hands of the beast Brock Lesnar. Some would say right decision, some say wrong decision. I want to know from yourself, Leon, as a fan, do you think Brock was the right decision?
As a fan, I mean, at the time, I was truly gutted. And I was speechless, and I didn't know what to say. But now looking back on it and what it's done, I think it is possibly the right decision.
Oh, really? Some people would say that's very controversial. It should have been a star who could have been built, like, maybe not 2015 Roman when he was getting booed out of the building wherever time he would step inside it.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like, who was maybe popular at the time, like Ryback or something like that. Or maybe Punk should have done it at 29. I mean,
that's a very good shout.
You never know in this business. There's always surprises as well. But obviously that kind of era, with Taker losing the streak, kind of went into a new era. The PG era had gone, and that was kind of like the network era. Roman Reigns at the top of the big dog and doing so many great things. As a fan, Leon, again, I want to know that era. Do you think that era's harshly looked at just because fans were so kind of negative to things in the product?
I completely agree. I think it's very harshly looked at. Ooh. I mean, everyone says the Attitude Era and that. Obviously I wasn't around when that was a thing, but just growing up with the PG era, as it's called, I think it was truly fine, and people just look at it really harshly through tinted windows.
The old tinted windows, they blind the people, Leon. They blind them. They don't see the thing that's facing them right in their very eyes. I think the Attitude Era is overrated. I think the Wind Eagle's overrated. I prefer the Spinner. Yeah. It's a truly immaculate belt, and I've had so many controversial opinions, but I will submit them because my Scottish tone knows no bounds. But I want to know, with the Attitude Era, do you think it's way overhyped? Yes, you had some big stars like Austin and Rock, but you had so many duds. You had so many poor mid-card stuff as well. Why do you think that era is so nostalgia heavy?
Yeah, I think it's nostalgia heavy as well. I mean, you look at The Rock and Austin, they made mega stars. So the top of their cards were insane. But I mean, there were some bad matches on those shows. But I mean, they played their part and it led to success. So yeah, it worked.
Very true, Leon. We definitely got success out of that, and the business thrived, and wrestling is now bigger than I feel like it's never been before. It's just absolutely explosive. But also, back in the day, it was tape trading. You could trade a tape at a local Blockbuster. Sorry, there's going to be people there that don't know what Blockbuster was. It was basically Netflix before Netflix happened. A true special place for myself. But now, obviously, the network and this whole age of media we're in right now, where information from one side of Japan all the way here to Scotland can be done like that. And I feel like that is so special to how information is carried now with the whole network era of the WWE, especially having that platform now, Peacock in the States, here the network for the UK and other parts of the world, it's got to be a very important part of the WWE and wrestling's identity, this sort of network age, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to navigate in there. You just turn it on your TV and it's there. Everything's there.
Hey. It's truly efficient. As long as Sky Network doesn't go down, you've got access to anything.
Yeah, you've got it all.
Oh God, not the Sky Network. Bad times indeed. Always go for BT or Virgin. Actually efficient. Good stuff. So, well, obviously, Leon, you would be a fan who would actually, go one step further and getting into the squared circle. I want to know, my friend, how did that, come about? Did you have like a sports background and you thought, yeah, I've got this background, I want to go for it. I want to become a professional wrestler.
I mean, if you spoke to my parents, they'd tell you this. When I was like 2 and crying over Shawn Micheals, like my dream was, I just said like there and then, like I'm gonna be a wrestler. I'm gonna be a wrestler. I was like, I'm gonna live in America and I'm gonna be a wrestler. And it just always stuck. It never went. And I'm trying to do what I've always wanted to do now. So yeah.
Hey, you've done it, my friend. You've actually got in the ring and had matches. You haven't just been the one wonder. You've done so much, so many great things as well. And obviously, especially, Wales as well. It's a very special place within this country who I've had guests on from in the past, like James Ellis, Bevan, the owner of No Mercy, and Tilly Rose as well, and just seeing so many great talent. Obviously, your tag team partner Shane Hooker's been on the show as well. I want to know, my friend, being a Welsh-based wrestler and that identity, what does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, when I first started, I thought like, oh, this isn't gonna be benefiting me compared to what everyone else like in the States have, and like Canada, how much wrestling happens out there. But now looking at it, I mean, the Welsh scene is on fire. It's probably better than it's ever been before. I mean, like Mark Andrews and all those type of wrestlers like Flash Morgan Webster, Wild Boar, they are just giving all of us a platform, really. They like started building this up. We just need to keep on building, and it's going to become something massive.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you, Shane Hooker, and Tilly Rose, you're the future. You're the future guys of like Welsh wrestling. You're going to be doing so many great things. And one of those great places that you're doing so many things is that I've seen as well as New Wave. New Wave have been absolutely killing it with everything they provide. I want to know, my friend, from your experience, what is New Wave like for yourself?
It's just the environment is just perfect. You couldn't want anything else. Literally, I don't know how to put it into like some words, but it's just there. It's perfect.
I feel like it's homely. That's sort of when I did it on the Instagram, just seeing people, kind of like the backstage stuff, and in the locker room, everyone's clapping when someone comes back, hugging and just embracing. I love to see that, because that's something that we should have in wrestling. Is that sport, everyone building everyone up, not trying to,
that's it.
You want to do well, you want to make a living, be the champion of the promotion, but rolling it together. Yeah.
It's like a family. It is like a family. Everyone looks out for each other, and it's just it becomes something special.
Truly, indeed. And I know New Wave have offered some great opportunities, and I know you've had a chance to like meet some cool wrestlers. Indeed, the Rev Pro Cruiserweight champion Connor Mills. I know you've met him as well. He's a hell of a guy. So I want to know, what was it like meeting him?
I mean, it was my first New Wave match as well. I was extremely nervous, and funny enough, this is a good story. So I turned up on the day, bricking it. I didn't know what to expect, and I just, I was just nervous. Like, I can't put it into words. And I was there talking to everyone, and they were just like, "Don't worry, it'll be you now." But then from traveling down from London, he got stuck in traffic. So he actually turned up about 10 minutes before the match, like the entrances. So it was literally, he turned up, we spoke, went over it like once, and just went out. And it just happened. And it's still one of like my favorite matches. It's really up there. And I got so much respect for Mills. So much.
Well, hey, that's a hell of a way to have a first match, just on the time, and we're killing it right now. Come on, pick up the pace, please. But hey, you've done it, and you made magic in the ring is what we love to see. And of course, as well, I did mention, you're a tag team partner with a former guest of the show, Shane Hooker, in Rising Tides. I gotta know how the story. How did you and Shane meet?
Well, funny enough, I was training in a different school at the time, and then I went to a No Mercy seminar. I didn't think I could get in because it was an all 18s plus club. And at the time, I was speaking to my parents, and they were like, look, drop them a message. What's the worst that can happen? They just say no. Well, Bevan, he asked Mark Andrews, taking the seminar, and he said, what do you think? And Mark said, yeah, let him in. Let's see what he's got. And I turned up, and Shane was the only other person there. So me and him just bonded straight away. Just like lost brothers, just bonded. And it's stuck ever since.
Hey, wholesome to see, my friend. And I know, obviously, I believe Shane's injured at the moment as well. Had a wee incident at a New Way show, if I'm correct. I hope he's obviously doing well, and our best to Shane as well with his recovery. But obviously, when he's all healed up and you can get back on Rising with the Tides, what kind of tag teams within the UK scene you want to face?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I'd love to just have that match with the Greedy Souls again and do it properly. Like, let's just make it happen. Let's do it. I mean, there's so many good teams, like Gosh Gym. Just
the world's your oyster, Leon. You never know what you could find. And obviously with tag teams comes tag team gold, and there's so many great tag team belt designs. The Riot Cabaret tag team belts held by Charles Caldy and Chesney. I think of the Progress ones that we had the corner on. He says they're changing. I don't know why he's changing them. I tried to convince him on the show to not change them, but he set his mind. I'll let him be. ICW as well up here in Scotland. We've got the Discovery Wrestling tag belts. I gotta know, Leon, if Rising Tides could hold any tag team gold, simply because of design, you think it would look cool over your shoulder, which belt would you want?
Oh, I'm not too sure. For just like wrestling in general, I think like Rev Pro, just for the namesake, and like it's like a big goal of mine, especially here in Britain, as I see it as like the very, very top tier.
Oh, okay. Okay. Why is it particularly you see Rev Pro as like the top tier? Some people might say Progress, or some people might say the company. Why is it Rev Pro for yourself, pal?
I mean, all of them. Like, I've got no thing to say. None of them are like smaller than each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just massively into like Japanese wrestling.
Oh.
I absolutely love it, and I see all they have in New Japan talents and stuff. And I just think, I just love to be there. I just love it.
Fair point indeed, my friend. New Japan itself is doing so many great things with the Strong Championship held by Eddie Kingston. Over in Japan, they've got Sanada as well, and so many other great talent. But with Japan as well, I feel like there's such an expansion of great talent. You look at All Japan, Noah, and also New Japan as well. Those kind of companies are just so special because of what they've built. You look back at the history, with Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki, what they did, branching off and doing their own things is just so poignant and special. And I want to know, why is it, as a wrestler and as a wrestling fan, you think Japanese wrestling specifically has that such a poignant connection with people and just getting them so involved?
For me, it's like it builds an emotion when you're watching it. Like, it fixates you into it, and just some of the strikes, they're so heavy. It's just like you have like a tear running down. It's like you can feel it yourself, and some of the just bumps and moves are just, they're off the scale. You wouldn't think they could be done, and it's, especially for me, as like I've always looked up to like AJ Styles. I'd say he's like my favorite wrestler, and Kenny Omega, and I mean Will Ospreay, massive inspiration. So, and all of these wrestlers have just gone through that stage of Japan, and it's just, it changes people. it's like you can watch a change through it. It's unbelievable, the things he's done.
Leon, honestly, I totally agree with you, my friend. I had Bobby Fish on the show, and he talked about that. He feels like Japan should be like the one destination all wrestlers to go, just that opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The culture's different, and just that ability to go over there, take that skill you learn there, and then bring it back here to the UK will be such a very big learning opportunity. And of course, there you mentioned Kenny Omega, the best belt machine, and Cerebral Assassin Will Ospreay. They've had bangers of matches this year. The Wrestle Kingdom match, and then the Forbidden Door match. But there's always the third. This has to be a trilogy, my friend. Do you feel like Wrestle Kingdom is the most logical place for this to happen?
Yeah. I think so.
Hey.
But then again, with them running the Wembley shows, I mean, just the amount of people inside and the platform, it could happen there, especially because Ospreay's British and they've both been to Japan, so they've done the Japan match, then the Canada match where Kenny's from, and now that for it to happen in Ospreay's garden, pretty much, it makes sense.
I think I'd be happy to wait that long if I get to see that match in person. But I want to know, who would you like to see get the final win of the trilogy? Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay?
Oh, Will Ospreay.
Oh,
yeah.
The Canadians aren't going to be happy, pal. They're going to be absolutely raging at that comment. They're going to be having their maple syrup in one hand and their flags and the number on the mounties, just being absolutely raging at you, pal. But hey, everyone has their opinions, and I think they're both excellent. I will hold the non-divisive high ground. I will not say more on the
fellow
opinion.
British wrestler. I got to pick.
Hey, there it is indeed, my friend. But also, I want to go back to No Mercy Wrestling, because I know you've done some stuff for them as well. And I know you faced Mark Andrews, one half of Subculture. I mean, he's a hell of a guy as well. What was it like going against Mark Andrews?
Well, I mean, because originally it was meant to be, that match was Mark and Shane. So, I mean, when Shane got hurt, I stepped in. I felt really bad at first because I didn't feel like this was my opportunity, but then it soon just become it. So I had to just, Shane told me, he said, you're the one person I'd want to have it, so just go out there and smash it. And I tried my best. It was what it was. I really enjoyed it, and I'd hope Mark would agree.
Yeah, I think you would agree, pal. But I think what also it shows there, which we touched upon, wrestling's a family. You're helping build each other up. Shane was hurt, yes, but he allowed you to get that opportunity. And that's a brotherhood, my friend. That just shows the union you have between each other. And I feel like great things are going to come for Rising Tides in 2024. But also, you face other talent as well. Hey, don't worry, my friend. I can see it in the future. I may not be maybe having a few bits of gin and whiskey right now, but I can see clearly that you two will be absolutely killing it in 2024. But as well, you've also faced Wild Boar, who's been on the show. And I've had so many guests comment about Wild Boar. He seems to be like the pinnacle of Welsh wrestling. He's just so well respected. He's done so much as well for that as well. What do you think Wild Boar means to Welsh wrestling?
Honestly, he is the top of the mountain. I couldn't say any bad words about him. He's honestly he is the best.
He is. He's done so many great things out of NXT UK and really elevated the whole scene, and it's truly great to see. But I want to know as well, we all like the Mount Rushmore, the top four. I know Wild Boar were up there, but who would be the other three, like Mount Rushmore type of Welsh wrestling? If you had to pick another three, obviously Wild Boar will be one.
I mean, Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews have got to be up there.
Okay. So we have one more spot. Who's the last one?
And then I'm not really sure. I think there's so many to choose from.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you think of people like James Ellis, he's done some great stuff as well. Bevan, Aluna. Talent is just thriving in there, my friend, as well. And
it is.
I know there's the New Wave Academy Championship. The No Mercy has their own championship, but the Combat Legacy and their main championship. Leon, which one would you like around your waist? If you could be like, I'm going to go for that one, and you get it, which one would look good around your waist, my friend?
Honestly, it's got to be the ones you said, where it's like either the New Wave Wrestling Championship or the No Mercy Champion. Either one, just you know, especially the New Wave one that'd be really cool to see as well. Just to see what would happen with it all. Like if I was going to win that, it'd just be like, I train there. So it's just
actually
how do you put it into words?
Like, very well said, my friend. You never know. I feel like it would be like such a highlight for you. I mean, that'd be like on the Instagram reels. That would be like on the tapes for everyone. Just you winning that championship. Maybe get some Creed, My Hero playing and just be like, yeah, that's cemented. That is the banger moment right there.
I feel like winning the New Wave belt would be an emotional point. I feel like it'd be very emotional.
Of course, absolutely. And obviously I know as well the UK scene has just been thriving. Impact were here for their tour, but they also did some gut checks. They did one up here in Glasgow. But I know you attended one down south, if I'm correct, as well. Yes.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, my friend?
Really fun. Really fun. It was just networking, socializing with people. Harley Hudson had won it as well, so I mean, massive congratulations to her, and I hope her all the best. It was just a really good experience.
Oh, good to see. Did you get to meet any of the Impact stars, and there was one that you were really happy to meet?
I mean, I was just doing my stuff in the ring, and Rich Swann called me over, and I had a chat with him. Wow. That was a very cool moment.
Oh, nice, man. Rich Swann, he's a hell of a guy as well. And he's really doing some good stuff as well. But obviously, Impact are going to rebrand themselves back to TNA. And that's kind of like a hell of a shift, going back to the past. Do you feel like that's a good move?
Yeah.
True. I mean, hopefully we get those amazing belts back. I want them back.
Yeah. I mean, with AJ Styles being one of my favorite, if not my favorite wrestler, he was the face of TNA, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. So seeing that is nice.
Well, hey, and who knows? Maybe Leon Cage in the far future could be the face of the new TNA.
You never know.
The future is bright indeed, my friend. But obviously, I know as well with the UK, we've had WWE come over for Clash of the Castle, Money in the Bank. They're going to be doing a UK tour as well at the moment as we record. AW next year, All In 2. So many great things as well. I want to know, Leon, especially with WrestleMania, coming to the UK, that's going to be a hell of a thing. I've had people come on and say, it should happen in Wembley. Some people say it should happen in the Hydro up in Glasgow. I personally just want it in Muddyfield Stadium in Edinburgh so I don't have to walk far. No 8-hour train journey. I like the easy times. No complaint here. But another stadium I think is very magnificent and somewhere I've been for Clash of the Castle is Principality Stadium in Wales. Yeah. Do you think the Principality would be the best place to hold a UK WrestleMania?
I mean, well, it's got the ability to close the roof, and that's something we need in the UK with this weather. I mean, it's raining now. It's not great over here, especially around April time. It's never great. So, and it's in Wales.
Easy for you lot. I mean, I still got a bit of a train journey to do, but I will do it because I love the country, and that stadium indeed was a very special one as well. But Leon Cage, my friend, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the Soul Sessions. But before we go as well, I want to propose, a question as well. The dream scenario. I love to always propose this. Let's say down the line, you get to have a match at Wrestle Kingdom, maybe 50 or 49 or something like that. Who from the New Japan, who from the Japanese scene would you love to face in the Tokyo Dome?
I mean, there's so many.
True.
Ospreay, he's there if he counts. He's something else. I personally believe he is the best wrestler in the world.
You'll hear no complaints from me, my friend. I think Ospreay does deserve that title of the best in the world.
I mean, we've got Zack Sabre Jr. as well, another Brit.
True.
Unbelievable. How he does that, I'll never know. Everything he does. Unbelievable. Japanese wrestlers. It's just so many.
Let me throw my 2 cents in the ring, shall we say? What about a Ishii or a Sanada or
Okada? That's what I'm thinking. Okada is That's a name. Just saying you wrestled Okada is something massive.
Oh, man, that would be a sight to see. Leon Cage defeating Okada. Whew, ticket seller right there. You'll be flying up. Hey, we always dream and reach for the stars, my friend, because you never know when the ascent will come. But Leon Cage, my friend, having a pleasure here having you on the Soul Sessions. But we'll have to do with every guest as well. You know, if you got dates lined up, where can they see you in person, my friend?
I mean, I'm not this weekend, the weekend after. I have a triple weekender with New Wave Wrestling on Friday, the 9th? 10th? 10th. On Friday the 10th with New Wave. Then I've got Pro Wrestling Chaos on the 11th and No Mercy Wrestling on the 12th. So, I mean, they just keep on coming through. So just keep up the socials and everything will be on there.
Absolutely. And don't worry, folks. I know in this modern age, people are lazy. They want their Amazon Prime delivery right now. They can't wait for their food to be cooked. So they want it delivered right to them. But I will have Leon Cage's Instagram link on the description of this video. You can click that, follow his journey, and see him rise to the scene here in the UK. But Leon Cage, my friend, absolute pleasure here having you on the Soul Sessions. I would say the whole YouTuber shtick, but YouTube's been around since 2005. I ain't got to explain myself anymore. It's been done to death. You know what's going on. But thank you, folks, for tuning in for another episode of The Soul Sessions.